Hey, well, tonight I'm angry at the Chicago Teachers Union, and you may wonder why, since I don't even live in Chicago, but I think it illustrates a greater point. And the point that I'm angry about is the power that public sector unions have in this country, specifically the teachers. Now, you may not realize, but the teachers are an enormously influential bloc, and what the teachers decide is often what goes, because the teachers have on their side the ultimate claim, which is that they are representing our children. But the thing to keep in mind is that the teachers are actually not representing our children. I agree that there are many teachers that do care more about our children than they care for themselves, but as a group, I certainly would dispute the fact that teachers care more about children than themselves. As a group, teachers care more about teachers. So let's talk about the Chicago Teachers Union. And, you may have seen this tweet that came out a couple of days ago, where the Chicago Teachers Union claimed that efforts to open schools in Chicago were rooted in sexism, racism, and misogyny. Now, it's obvious that the teachers really don't want to go back to work, and let's take a look at what the history is, because this didn't start a couple of days ago with this tweet, and this didn't even start with the COVID-19 pandemic. This started in about October of last year, when the teachers actually rejected the offer from the government of Chicago, which was to give them a 16% raise over 5 years. They demanded a 15% raise over 3 years, along with some other issues that remained unresolved. And because the government, the city, did not agree to their terms, the teachers went on strike. This is in October of last year. Now, you can claim whatever you wish, but if you're a teacher and you have any care about children whatsoever, you do not strike. Children need you desperately. The teachers eventually got their 15% raise, but not without some cost. This is a picture of two high school cross-country runners. They are pleading. They actually went to court to try to enter regional competition, even though their school was closed. Unfortunately, the court denied their efforts, and they were left unable to compete. So much for worrying about the children. So where are we now? Well, there is a COVID pandemic, as you may have noticed, and teachers around the country, some unions, are claiming that it's not safe to go back to school. Now, part of the problem is the fact that most of the teachers are under 55 years old. I think something like 3/4 are under 55. And if you look at the figures, what the risks are for people 55 years of age or younger, the risk seems very minimal. The risk is not a certainty that you will die. The risk is something like 5 or 10% if you're 80. It's impossible not to be suspicious of the Chicago teachers. Illinois is one of the most bankrupt states in the country, and Illinois' education system was so bad that years ago, when the Education Secretary Bennett visited Illinois after a closed-door meeting, he dared anybody to name a place with a worse school system. I don't know how much better things are now, but they certainly can't be much improved with teachers who are unwilling to go back to work. And this was after they had taken down their original tweet because of the outrage it had caused. This is their response. Fair enough. Complex issue requires nuance and much more discussion. More important, the people the decision affects deserve more. So we'll continue, give them that, which might notice is not even English. Appreciate the feedback of those truly in the struggle. Chicago Teachers Union. The Chicago Teachers Union does not appreciate anybody's feedback at all. This is their attempt to curry favor with the voters. They represent teachers. They represent people who have a job and are getting paid, and who go on strike to get more pay, and the children of Chicago be damned. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the figures for online learning, but I saw that in Chicago, something like 1/4 of kids have never even signed in on any online learning. So what does that mean for the generations to come, when months and maybe possibly even years of schooling is thrown aside by the teachers? I mean, let that sink in a minute. Teachers are saying they don't want the kids to come back to school, even though the CDC, Redfield, has said school is safe, even though Fauci finally admitted that school was safe, even though the evidence has shown for the last 8 months that schools were safe, for the children at least. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Teachers have gotten by for years by playing the "what about the children" card, but it's actually "what about the teachers?" Teachers want more for teachers. Teachers don't care about our children as a group. Teachers care about teachers, just as every group cares about its own self-interest. This is not anything new and unusual. Every group does. I don't blame teachers for representing their interests, but I do blame teachers for putting aside the interests of the kids. Teachers need to go back to school. Kids need to go back to school. It's not just their learning, it's their mental health, their social health. This country needs children to be educated. We can have a big argument over whether the government should be involved in their education or not, but certainly we can agree that the government should not stop them from being educated, and neither should we allow teachers to stop them from being educated. Please wake up.